Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 12 on my channel, the Pattymac Knits YouTube channel. I'm Patty, and lovely to see you. Today we're going to talk about the fiber arts tag that's going around on YouTube and Instagram, as I recall. So don't go anywhere. And welcome to my channel. I am thrilled to see you here. Today is December 31st. That means it's New Year's Eve. So here we go, the end of 2017 and into 2018. Let's hope for a less tumultuous, calmer, brighter, nicer year for 2018. That's what I hope for anyway. So there are a lot of new faces around Pattymac Knits these days. I would like to take a moment to just say thank you so much. I appreciate all of the new subscribers. Wonderful to have you here. And thank you for taking time to watch all of those episodes in my back catalog. Really means a lot to me. Thank you so much. And if you are new to the channel, maybe this is your first time seeing one of my videos, I would like to welcome you also. Please consider subscribing before you leave today. And in any event, please like the video, leave a lovely, positive, uplifting comment below. Thank you. It really helps the channel. Today's video, episode 12, is the fiber arts tag. It is going around YouTube right now, and I got the idea to play along with this particular tag from Amy Edwards Green, who is the lovely podcaster of Stranded Dyeworks. Amy broadcasts her show from the UK. She's a very talented indie yarn dyer and quite an artist. So if you don't know about Amy, she's super funny, always hilarious, and I highly recommend following her podcast, and you should also check out her beautiful yarn. I currently don't own any of her lovely product in my stash, but I hope that in 2018 that will change. So let's get moving with this tag. As I said, it was the fiber arts tag. It's a list of 21 questions. I had hoped to print this out and be able to just read from that for you, but my printer has decided it doesn't want to print anymore. And even though all I want to do is a simple black copy, just black type on white paper, it refuses to print because I'm out of cyan. Hey printer, there's no cyan in the black ink, and you're like totally full because I just changed your black ink. Technology. You know, when it works, it's fabulous, and when it doesn't, it is the pits. Am I right? I have to read the questions from my computer screen, which is just behind where I'm filming. So if some of the eye movements are a little disconcerting, that's why. Okay, you probably don't need to know any of that. Let's just get on with the tag, shall we? Okay, the first question is, who are you? I am Patty. My business and online persona is Pattymac Knits. I do everything on this YouTube channel. I also have a website. I blog, I won't say every week because I decided that coming up with something new every single week was really hard on me. And so I like to say at least a couple of times a month, but probably more. I have a variety of free patterns. I have knitting tutorials. I do some recipes. I've got a little bit of everything. Things that go into making a super comfortable, laid back, crafty life. That's what I'm all about. And you'll find that here on this channel as well as on my website. I also have an Instagram gallery that I put a lot of time and effort into. I love putting it together, and I hope that you'll follow me there as well. When or why did you start knitting, crocheting, spinning, or weaving? So when I started knitting about 8 years ago now, so almost a decade. I did some crochet as a child and then just got away from all crafts in my teenage years. But as an adult in later life, I rediscovered my crafty side, and I think that's why I'm just so crazy about it now, is because most of my adult life was spent not crafting, which is kind of sad. But that's okay, because I found it again now, and it's like all heck is just breaking loose. I can't stop. Okay, so 8 years ago, why did I start? I got back into knitting because of my best friend. My best friend at the time was named Paula, and I moved away from my hometown of Virginia Beach for a while. I went through a thing. We all go through this kind of stuff from time to time. I needed a complete change of scenery, so I wound up moving to the mountains to try something else. I was up there about 7 years. In the time that I was gone, my best friend became sick. She developed metastatic breast cancer, and she eventually passed away from it. So, without getting super emotional about it, what I will say to you is that she knitted and really loved it. She really rediscovered that towards the end of her life when she was sick, and I got interested in learning to knit after seeing the really cool things that she made, and so I picked it up while I lived in the mountains, and she and I would have like virtual knit nights together on the phone. When I would come back to the beach to visit, we would work on things together, and yeah, so every time I knit, I think about my best friend, and so it means a lot to me. It's more than just a craft. It's a way that I still feel very close to my best friend, who has been gone now for 6 years, so a while, yeah, and I still miss her every day. What is your favorite or your proudest make? Well, I would say my proudest make is this shawl that you see behind me. I made that this year. That is the biggest project I've ever made. It's a fingering weight shawl. It's based loosely on the Boneyard shawl from Stephen West. Yeah, it took me 5 months to make that thing, and the bind off edge on it had over 600 stitches, so it really took me a long time, and I'm extremely proud of it. I actually got to wear it this week. It had a tassel right here, and the tassel fell off, so I have to make a new one and reattach it and do a better job of attaching it this time. So yeah. My favorite make, I have so many things that I've made that I love, but my fondest make might actually be this particular shawl. And this is the second thing that I ever made. It was at the time the biggest project that I had done. This is the Doll Roar. It's from Alex Tinsley, and I knitted this in Juniper Moon Farms, and this is Noro Silk Garden. This was my first experience buying yarn in a local yarn shop, and that's how I came to find my local yarn shop here in Virginia Beach, was through buying the yarn that I used in this shawl. So yeah, it's pretty special to me, and I wear it a lot. My most disastrous make has to be my first scarf, and I still have it. I actually have a full blog post on it, so I will link over to the post so that you can really enjoy this thing, but here it is. I also have a video that I did about this scarf, so I'll link over to that. We'll put that up in the corner over here. Yeah, it's kind of a mess. Had no idea what I was doing. I was in the mountains when I started on this, and so I had to drive quite a ways to get the knitting class, and so I was not able to really get help in between, so I had to work on it by myself at home, which had varying degrees of success. And really the big reason that I struggled so much on this project was because they just gave me too much to do in the first class. They wanted me to cast on, knit, purl. I want to say they wanted me to make stockinette. I mean, they just gave me so many things to do in that first hour class, and I couldn't do it. It was too much. So, like, this is where I started. And so, you know, it was great. And it took me 6 hours to do that much because it was so hard for me. So, struggling through this project is really what inspired me to do my own knitting tutorials and easy projects and patterns for people, because anybody who's not as hard-headed as myself would have totally given up after this. Trust me, it was a mess. But I kept at it, and I went from this to making this. So I'm here to tell you, you can do this. So my favorite places to purchase yarn. I buy from a lot of different places and people. Locally, I get everything at the Yarn Club. We have an absolutely gorgeous local yarn shop, and just blessed to have that so nearby. So if I'm going to shop local, that's where I go. As far as shopping online, I do like to buy Plucky Knitter Yarn. I buy a lot of stuff from them. I also like to buy from independent yarn dyers, and a lot of those people are on Etsy. So yeah, and then I also buy a lot of commercial yarn, and I tend to get that from loveknitting.com. That is also a wonderful resource. So yeah, I buy from a lot of places. My most loved or used knitting pattern. I don't know. I make a lot of different things. I will say that I really enjoyed the slant mitts from Cookie A. I am on my second pair of those. I still have to put the thumbs in, and then I can happily wear those. That's a wonderful fingerless mitt pattern. Most dreaded task. My most dreaded task. I don't know. I don't really have a most dreaded task. They're all kind of important, and I like them all. So if I had to really pinpoint something, I would say that the hardest thing for me is the actual pattern writing process. I find it incredibly tedious. There's a lot of steps to it, and so it slows me down in producing my own patterns. But the actual knitting process, I like all of it. I don't even mind weaving in ends. But pattern writing, that's hard. What is your favorite task? My favorite task is the actual knitting process. I just love that. And I love photography. I love putting my pieces onto another person and being able to like physically see it in 3 dimensions, walking around and joyfully taking pictures of somebody else wearing it. I don't really like being on camera. It's not my favorite thing. So when I have the opportunity to take the pictures of somebody else wearing my pieces, I jump at that and love it. So what is my favorite crafty entertainment? It's got to be YouTube. I love knitting podcasts and seeing what all my other favorite knitting friends are up to. Okay, I'm going to read this one. For number 10. For patterns, do you prefer books, magazines, Ravelry, or would you rather make up your own? I make up a lot of my own stuff, I'll be honest with you. The creative juices just never stop, so I'm always making up stuff. But for finding patterns, I do find a lot of things on Ravelry. I like Ravelry because I can keep everything organized. But recently I've also been finding a lot of things on Instagram. And I do have knitting magazines. I have made things for magazines, so I guess I like it all. Okay, number 11. What is your favorite brand of knitting needles, hooks or spinning, and what is your favorite wheel? Well, I don't spin, so we'll just leave that out. But knitting needles, I do have definite opinions. So for knitting in the round, I do a lot of magic loop because I do small projects. Tri-goo. I'll show you. These with the red, they're actually like red lace. I think they're lace knit. I don't know. This cable is everything for me. I love these. It just always hangs untangled. It's easy to work with. I do all my magic loop with these tri-goos. And for magic loop, I do like the metal needles that they have. For any kind of straight knitting, straight up wooden needles. I love wooden needles. I like knit picks. I use a lot of knit picks. I have also used, hold on. I also like Knitter's Pride. I think those are super nice needles, but hands down, if I'm doing in the round, I like the tri-goo. Number 12, what is your favorite notion or tool? Pom-pom makers. Pom-pom makers are life-changing. If you don't have your own clover pom-pom makers, what are you waiting for? They are fabulous. Get them now, don't wait. I have a video that shows how to use them. I'll link to that. They are wonderful. What is your current favorite project? Well, I always like whatever it is I'm working on. So I'll just show you this. These are, it's going to be my own design, of course, because I have the extra yarn. But this is going to be based on the 21 Colors mitten. I live in Virginia Beach. It's way too warm for mittens, so I'm going to do basically striped fingerless mitts using that same yarn, which is what is it? Okay, the actual yarn is the wool stock from Blue Sky, and I have the 21 Colors hat, which I want to make that next. But I thought, let me go ahead and knit the mitts first, and that will give me a good idea of how this yarn behaves, and then when I cast on my 21 Colors hat, I'll be really well prepared. But yeah, I'm excited about these. I think they're going to be super pretty, and right now it got freezing cold here, so good wool mitts are definitely the name of the game right now. But isn't that beautiful? And I'm using my favorite twisted rib. I just love twisted rib. So yeah, be looking for more on that. What is your favorite place to knit in public? I will take my knitting with me wherever I go. So if I am lucky enough to have to wait even for a doctor's appointment, I don't mind, because it gives me a chance to work on a project. And I've been so busy lately that day knitting is like, I don't know, that's like a new luxury or something for me. So in 2018, I would like to be able to do more day knitting. What is your favorite fiber arts book? Well, I can tell you that I have seen Pom Pom Quarterly a couple of times, and it's beautiful. That's a very nice magazine. There's a lot of new ones out, so I really don't like to play favorites when it comes to these indie publications. They're all so well done, but I will say I have personal experience with Pom Pom, and they're quite nice. Do I have any other hobbies? Yeah, I got a lot of hobbies, you know. gardening. I love gardening. I actually completed the Master Gardener classes this year, and now I'm working through my required volunteer time so that I can graduate to being a full Master Gardener in 2018. So I love plants, love gardening. Yeah, I could talk your ear off about that. I also love baking. That's why I include recipes on my blog and some here on the channel. Love cooking and baking. If I can meet anyone in the fiber arts community, who would it be? You know, I would really like to meet Stephen West. I think he's really amazing. I think he is a pioneer and a true artist when it comes to the way he presents his knitting patterns. His photography is incredible. Wow, that's all I can say. Seeing the way that he photographed and posed for his patterns and the way that has evolved over the years, I find it incredibly inspiring. He models his own things, which is really cool. I'm not crazy about modeling my own stuff. I really still prefer to photograph my pieces on other people. But I certainly would love to get a little more out of the box in my presentation in the way that he is so out of the box in his presentation. Okay, so number 18 is knit or crochet. Definitely knitting. Weave or spin. I haven't really done either one, but I would have to say probably weaving. My tech editor does some weaving, and that looks like something I could really get into. Number 20 is color or neutrals. Okay, come on. Although this does have a lot of neutral, but really I'm all about the color. Anytime I include a neutral, it's just so I have a good base for the color, because I love color. The last question on the Fiber Arts Tag Survey is sweater or socks. I haven't made either one. But I have to say, off the top of my head, I'm going to go socks. And knitting socks is a goal of mine for 2018. I would say socks because it's a small project. It's going to be, similar to this in the round, which I like projects like this. It's like the next logical step from the fingerless mitts. So yeah, we're going to go with socks. Okay, so that is the whole 21 questions for the Fiber Arts tag. If you made it through the whole thing, thank you so much. I appreciate you watching and hanging out with me. But I would like to hear from you. Let's hear some of the things that you like. What is your favorite yarn? What are your favorite projects? Do you have something you're super proud of? Do you have like a great big embarrassment? And would you ever show your big embarrassment on YouTube? Let me know. I want to hear. There's plenty of room for comments below. So yeah, tell me. I want to hear. And I think that's all I have for you for now. So here's to 2018. Let's welcome in 2018 with a wonderful cup of hot tea and knitting. That's what I'm going to be doing tonight. And yeah, let's welcome in the new year right. And I wish for you huge, wonderful things. And here's to all the yarn and all the projects. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.